One thing I know you guys come to this channel time and again for is the latest on gun litigation and the status of gun laws in the state of Illinois in particular. And we've been tracking that for well over a year now. And a lot of you check this channel just for that. Well, I've got some updates. We, of course, have the case in the Southern District of Illinois that's continuing on Friday, but several other cases on pause. So we'll take a look here with Bishop on Air. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Each and every weekday morning, we do live streams here, and then we segment out the program into various bits, so you can check those out throughout the day as well. But let's get into it as some Illinois gun ban challenges are paused. Southern District case continues. So Friday, 1:30, Southern District of Illinois, Judge Stephen McGlynn, he has the parties coming together to discuss scheduling issues and a timeline for discovery in that case, which has several plaintiffs groups all lumped together. You've got the Langley plaintiffs with the Barnett plaintiffs with the Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois and others, the Herald plaintiffs, 4 different plaintiffs groups that are in the Southern District of Illinois. Now, we've seen this case go from the Southern District for preliminary issues where the plaintiffs were successful in getting an injunction, to the state appealing to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, and that stay on the law, the preliminary injunction on the law, a stay was put on that. And what a stay means is pretty much puts a pause on that preliminary injunction, and a preliminary injunction means temporarily the law is blocked. So Southern District in this case last year, back in April, this feels like so long ago, and we're actually approaching a full year. That's incredible to think about, but here we are in 2024, the end of January. But back in April last year, you had the Southern District issue an injunction blocking the law from being implemented, and then the 7th Circuit, at the request of the state, paused that injunction, but only lasted 6 days before they put that pause on it. Those are all preliminary issues, right? And there were even some that tried to go to the U.S. Supreme Court after the 7th Circuit made their ruling, unsuccessfully trying to get the Supreme Court to intervene. But the case now is back in the Southern District, and Judge Stephen McGlynn is moving forward. But there are other cases, of course, outside of the Southern District of Illinois. In the Northern District, you have a case of Herrera versus Raul, where the judge there had a status filing that they wanted plaintiffs to put in. This was back on the 19th when they put that in. And the judge in this case says that ultimately they're going to go ahead and issue a stay at the request of plaintiffs, because plaintiffs intend to file a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court, and that the defendants, except the Cook County defendants, agree that a stay is warranted. So in light of this posture, the court said they agree that a stay is appropriate. And this is for the Herrera v. Raul case. So clearly, we have this possible stay down in the Southern District that plaintiffs were seeking. If you recall, when they had a status conference several weeks ago, Judge McGlynn said, hey, we're going to move forward with this case. And even the plaintiffs were like, no, hold on a second. We don't want to go to the merits quite yet. We want to try again at the U.S. Supreme Court. Well, Judge McGlynn said, no, we're moving forward with the merits of this case. I guess similar arguments were made in the Northern District cases, in particular with the Herrera case. And the judge there, hearing the plaintiffs say, hey, we're going to possibly get this thing in front of the U.S. Supreme Court again, so we want to hold off on moving forward in the case on the merits in the Northern District. You also have the Keneally case. That's the McHenry County State's attorney, Patrick Keneally, who had sued the state, and they also have a stay in place now. And this was from earlier this month. It said, in light of the parties' supplemental filings, the plaintiff's request for stay is granted. The case is stayed pending developments, including an appeal in Beavis v. Naperville. The motions for preliminary injunction and for judgment on the pleadings are stricken without prejudice, meaning they can bring those pleadings back. But all of that in the Keneally case apparently is being held off until they get something from the Beavis case, which could possibly see that in front of the U.S. Supreme Court again. We'll have to connect with the organization supporting Robert Beavis in that case to find out when exactly they're going to file that. I believe they have a sometime in March, a deadline to file for the U.S. Supreme Court to take the case. So bottom line is here, all right, the status of these lawsuits. just even this week in the Herrera case, the judge yesterday, what's today, the 31st? The judge yesterday in the Herrera case in the Northern District granted a stay at request of the plaintiffs. And this is interesting. The plaintiffs are the ones requesting that they don't move forward on the merits because they're hoping to get to the U.S. Supreme Court. Same thing with the Keneally case and the Beavis case, looking to get to in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, so they're not going to be messing with the merits at this moment in the District Court of Northern Illinois Federal Court. However, in that Southern District, Friday afternoon, Judge Stephen McGlynn is going to be holding a status conference to essentially have the plaintiffs and the defense spell out scheduling issues and get a timeline for discovery in that case on the merits. So we'll be watching that closely. But you also have this story out of Washington, D.C., of course, thecentersquare.com, where you can get more stories like this, especially if you're wanting to get a good taxpayer's perspective from what's going on in Washington, D.C. You can check out the headline, Supreme Court to hear arguments in federal bump stock ban case. And this is the U.S. Supreme Court looking to consider a federal ban on bump stocks late in February. The latest opportunity for the high court to rule on gun violence and Second Amendment rights. So that's interesting. We'll watch that as well because that's a pretty big case, but you can read more about that at thecentersquare.com. All right, so just a little bit of an overview of where we're at with all of these various lawsuits against just gun laws in Illinois. And this is just, again, looking at a few in Illinois that deal with the gun ban, not with the FOID card. The FOID card, you've got a federal challenge. I believe it's Myers v. Kelly. That is set for a schedule of discovery sometime in May. So they have to get together the, various things they want to try to discover and spell out to the judge. This is how we look to proceed forward so we can have a trial on these issues. That's not going to happen until May this year. But before then, expecting the Southern District of Illinois federal courts to move forward expeditiously, as Judge Stephen McGlynn has spelled out previously. So again, they got a status hearing on Friday afternoon. I'll do what I can to call into that and then break it down for you, possibly even as late as Friday evening. I'll try to get you out something so you can keep posted on that. But clearly there's a lot of moving pieces here, and I'm going to do what I can to keep you updated on that. But also be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because when lawmakers come back to Springfield here in Illinois for the start of spring session, they could tackle a whole bunch of other gun legislation. So we'll be piecemealing out some of the various things that we may see come out of all of that in the near future. All right. So that's a little bit of an overview. Appreciate you guys being here each and every weekday morning. It really is pretty humbling to see people tuning in and watching the live stream, but also all of the numbers of people who are here regularly, just checking out the videos even late at night. So thumbs up to all that. All right, stay tuned. As always, plenty more here with Bishop on Air.